Hey, Seb here. Now I've had my Lenovo Legion Go for about 7 months now. I got it a day after release on November 1st of 2023, and I just wanted to talk about it. After 7 months, I wanted to share my opinions. I did make a review on it, but it's been some time, so I wanted to see how it holds up. So let's talk about it. Now, I will admit, it is difficult to just talk about the newer gaming handhelds when you've had awesome ones in the past. This is the LCD Steam Deck, and I've had the Game Boy and the PSP way further back in the day. I mentioned that in my review. The portability that I always missed from the PSP days kind of was reinvigorated with the Steam Deck. So I love this device, and lately the Legion Go has kind of captivated me, and I've kind of been using it more, which is sad to say because I love this thing. I do think it's kind of funny that the Steam Deck has kind of pushed me away from my gaming laptop. It really got me back into gaming. I've had a crazy backlog on Steam, like I'm sure many of you have, and it's been so great to play old games and new games, but playing them portably, awesome experience. And to me, the Legion Go kind of stays at home because it's so heavy, to the point that I had to buy 3D printed grips because holding it for too long gaming sessions, it does dig into the palm of my hand. Now, this isn't meant to be a comparison video with the Steam Deck, but I always like to talk about it, and I could go on and on, but we're here to talk about the Legion Go. So after 7 months, I gotta say, I still love the device. I've noticed the flaws, but it's one of those things where you can push past some of the flaws and just appreciate the device. I wanna talk about some of the things I don't like first, and then I'll go into things that I do like. Number one, the speakers. The speakers, to me, could use massive improvement if a Legion Go 2 was ever announced or anything like that. The speakers are something that I think most people are not super happy with. Since the speakers are directionally pointed upwards as opposed to towards the player, like on the ROG Ally or Steam Deck, I think that's an issue with the quality. But this leads to my next point, which would be the fan. And the fan is quite loud, especially when it is on full fan speed. I've seen discussions online about the two buttons up here, the Legion Go space button and the settings button. And I have to say, at first in my review, I had mentioned that I didn't like them being those buttons. I wanted it to be selected start. And now in an update, they have fixed that. So that's really great that you can just switch it over. Controllers in general, I've gotten used to. I think I prefer the Steam Deck controllers, but I'm okay with the Legion Go controllers as of now. Something unique to the Legion Go is the FPS mode. To me, it was more of a selling point. I've used it, it does work well, but it's something that I don't use often. I don't play on a desk really with this thing. I do like to go on a couch or a bed or whatever and just lay down and play it. But it is something that is cool to have if you want to play a game that you'd rather not use a mouse, or you don't want to travel with a mouse and you have FPS mode. It is a cool little feature, but for me personally, it's not something I use and not something I need on a device. There has been a ton of updates to Legion Space and the settings panel, and including a big one recently, and I think that's great because we're seeing much more stability and just better results. Now, one of the most important aspects of gaming handheld is of course the battery. And since I don't really travel much with the Legion Go, I do have it plugged in most, if not all the time, so that's not necessarily an issue for me. But if you are traveling with it, with the big screen and everything, of course there's going to be more power drawn. I don't want to repeat myself too many times, but I do want to reiterate that one of the biggest problems with the device is the weight. But that's the price you pay for a bigger screen. The screen is probably one of the biggest positives of the device. I have looked online and I found a way to add more resolutions to the device. So I play a lot of games at 1440 by 900, which is not a resolution offered by default on the device. Most games I've tried on it do run great. I'm playing a lot of Ghost of Tsushima right now on the device, one of my favorite games, and it does run great. There is some stuttering, but again, on 1440 by 900, it runs really great, and it's passable for me. I'm not getting a steady 60 frames or anything, but it runs great, extremely playable, and it used to crash actually, but I think it was a memory management issue, and they've again been updating it, and I think that's more so the game than the device. Something great that I see less talked about is the Wi-Fi 6E signal chip, and it just provides a better signal and stronger connection to Wi-Fi using the device. And I've noticed that with download speeds, I really do need to shout that out because the internet speed is really solid on this device. Since it is a Windows device, modding is super simple, the same way you would do it on a Windows computer. Of course, it takes some time to learn. The Steam Deck is definitely moddable. When you use Linux or the Steam OS, it can become a little bit tedious. But using the Legion Go, you're using Windows, so I've used Nexus mods for Skyrim and Fallout 4. After 7 months of use, I do want to mention the accessories I use most for this device. Now I'll leave a link in the description for all of these different accessories, but the number one right now is the 3D printed grips that I mentioned earlier. They make it so much more comfortable and ergonomic, at least for my hands. Second, I'd like to shout out these custom thumb grips, which have been great. Thirdly, I have these SONY headphones. It fixes that issue with the audio. I mean, you don't have to listen to speakers if you have headphones, right? But it would be nice if the speakers were improved. And lastly is the 10-foot long charging cable that I have along with the power brick. Plain and simple, this device is my most used device right now and probably in the last 6 months. I've taken the Steam Deck out and used it, of course, but I haven't touched my PS5 or my gaming laptop in honestly far too long. To summarize, I have a lot more positive things to say about the Legion Go than negative. I still love the Steam Deck, but the Legion Go has really been my main device for the past couple months. I hope you guys enjoyed. These are my opinions. I know everyone has their own, but I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you in the next one.